Yeah, I'm going to talk through the ethical factors in sport now. It's quite a long PowerPoint, but it's quite a lot to talk about. We also go on to drugs in sport in this PowerPoint as well. So sport requires people to follow a written and unwritten rules to make it fair. It expects people to behave responsibly to ensure respect, fairness and safety. In this way, it promotes social values. So if you think about in sports, there are rules we stick to. There's also unwritten rules, such as actually respecting your opponent. We have to really ask ourselves, well, why do we follow these rules? Why do we follow these unwritten rules? Sporting behaviour. Anyone taking part in sport must take personal responsibility and behave in a certain way which is fully compliant with the rules and the expected behaviour of the sport. This is known as sportsmanship. Rules. Participants have to follow the rules of the sport. In organised sport, these are developed by each sport's governing body and are upheld by officials during play. Rules make sure that play is safe and fair. Players are penalised if they do not respect the rules or the officials. During informal or adapted activities, participants often agree their own rules. Agreeing adaptations to the rules can make sport more inclusive but still ensure fairness and safety. So really with the rules, we follow rules in football, in cricket, in order so no one gets hurt. And also it does make the game more fun because everyone sticks to the same rules. So certainly in football, if someone picks up the ball and runs with it in their hands, you go, well, that's against the rules, and it suddenly ruins the game. The rules of the game are there, one, to be fair, one, to be safe, also to make the game better. Okay, and it talks about here, if you might change a game of football, so then you now play five-a-side football, even though it's football, there might be a slightly different set of rules. So it's about adapting the rules to the situation as well. So etiquette. Sport is all has unwritten rules or customs, etiquette, to uphold respect and fairness. These help people to play in the spirit of the game. They often require players to take an active approach to respect and fairness, not just avoid breaking the rules. For example, etiquette includes acknowledging that a ball was out in tennis, shaking hands with opponents before and after an important football match, regardless of the outcome. And it's one of the ones for this with etiquette. When you play badminton, if the ball is out, there is that idea of do I cheat and say it was in? But that etiquette is actually it was out, your point. So it's actually acknowledging the rules at the same time, having that whole sportsmanship behaviour of shaking hands and saying good game, even if you've lost, even if you're really upset. At the end of the game, it's that shaking hands and saying well played. Sportsmanship. Sportsmanship means playing within the rules and understanding and using sports etiquette. It is playing fairly in the spirit of the game, showing respect and fair play to opponents, and graciousness in both victory and defeat. Sportsmanship includes kicking the ball out when someone is injured in football and the other team giving possession back, helping a rival player up if they are down injured, a player calling the ball in at a tennis match even though it's a line judge called it out, thereby giving the opponent the point. It's actually playing fair. That's the most key, must be playing fair. Gamesmanship. Without breaking them, players may bend the rules and use questionable methods to gain advantage. Examples include deliberately falling after being tackled in the penalty area to try and win a penalty in football, distracting an opponent, for example, sledging in cricket where the bowler and fielders verbally abuse or intimidate a batsman to put him off, time wasting to prevent the opposition from trying to score in hockey. Gamesmanship exists at all levels and in many sports. Due to media coverage, many examples are seen in elite sport. Some sports psychologists and philosophers believe this reflects players' motivation. Competitors who are strongly ego-orientated or extrinsically motivated are most likely to have a win-at-all-cost attitude, leading to unsporting behaviour. Okay, so this is really, it is that playing the game to the absolute limit and actually putting people off. Yeah, it is not classed as cheating, but sort of it is that falling over when you're tackled in penalties, try and gain that penalty. So it is gamesmanship. He's not breaking the rules, but he's bending them. Deviance in sport. So deviance is actually breaking the rules, yeah, or breaking the norms of the sport and going far beyond gamesmanship. So gamesmanship is bending, deviance is breaking. Deviance in sport include deliberately dangerously fouls with the intent to harm, deliberate violence, drug abuse, and other forms of cheating. So when we say deviance, it's breaking the rules and cheating. Some examples of deviance include cheating in football, an outfield player deliberately handling the ball, drug taking to improve performance, social drug taking, violence and aggression, a sportsperson using their status to deliberately break the law, a coach deliberately cheating, organisational deviance, an international sports body being involved in bribery to host a global event, illegal gambling or match fixing, spectator violence or law breaking, bribing or offering gifts to officials to try and influence the game. So reason for deviance. Now, exam question has been in the past, why are people deviant in sport? Now, for me, the main one is that pressure to win, but there are lots of others. So we've got financial pressures from the coach, win at all cost mentality, the culture of sport, media pressures, stress of the situation, lack of a moral code, lack of positive education when they were young, a perception of a lenient punishment, following deviant role models, so having a bad role model. So deviant behaviour can have serious consequences. Athletes are perhaps discouraged from acting in a deviant way for some of these reasons. So becoming a negative role model, damage the reputation of the sport, a punishment or a ban, loss of respect from family and peers, loss of credibility, okay, cause of suspicion from other athletes, loss of sponsors, lack of trust of fans, loss of earnings. So they're really the consequences of deviance. Violence in sport. This is uncontrolled behaviour that causes physical injury. If it occurred on the street rather than the sport field, it would be a crime. Some examples of players' violence in sport. Boxing. In the WBA heavyweight championship fight, Mike Tyson was disqualified for biting off part of Evander Holyfield's ear. So it wasn't actually the fighting part, he actually bit him in the boxing match. Rugby. In the 2015 World Cup, Argentina's Mario Galarza was banned for eye gouging, so actually putting his finger into someone's eye. Francis Totti assaulted Mario Balotelli in 2010. Okay, so there's lots and lots of deviance. And if you look at football, how many times someone's been sent off for elbowing someone or for headbutting someone in football as well, that's violence in sport. It's against the rules and they get sent off and get punished for it. So reasons for players' violence include the importance of the result. So once again, winning at all cost, the nature of the game, the crowd, chanting abuse, disappointment or frustration, you're angry because you missed a goal, okay, dehumanized views of the opposition, the equipment, sports such as hockey and baseball use equipment that may be subconsciously viewed as a weapon, the crowd behavior, them getting aggressive, emotional intensity, so getting too into this sport where you become angry a lot. Performance enhancing drugs. We're looking at our drugs now. So this really comes under deviant, that rule breaking, that cheating. Okay, performance enhancing drug is any substance taken by a sports person to improve the standard of their performance. The use of performance enhancing drugs is currently one of the biggest issues in modern sports. Athletes such as Lance Armstrong, we mentioned him in the role models talk, cyclists banned for using steroids and blood boosting drugs, and Justin Gatlin, sprinter, banned for stimulants and steroid use, both damage the reputation and credibility of their respective sports. Athletes may choose to use illegal PEDs for different reasons and with varying risks. So remember, performance enhancing drugs. Reasons for taking performance enhancing drugs include the pressure to win. So once again, win at all costs. The pressure to succeed. Pressure from the media. Pressure to be successful. Pressure to succeed for financial rewards. Sport is a short career and the performers need to make as much money as possible. Improve physical condition, speed, strength to gain an advantage. Boost confidence. Reduce recovery time from injury. The belief that other competitors are taking drugs, so everyone's doing it, so I may as well. Anabolic steroids. These illegal drugs have been widely used to cheat in sports over the past 50 years. They are an artificial, so man-made, form of the male hormone testosterone. They help the athlete to make rapid increases in strength by promoting bone growth and developing muscle mass. They also aid recovery and repair of muscle fibers after high-intensity movements such as sprinting, which allows performers to train harder and more often. Steroids are typically used as a training drug in sports, such as weightlifting, bodybuilding, sprinting, and other athletic events required muscle mass. However, steroids are thought to cause severe mood swings, so negative effects, when used in large quantities, and may cause heart disease, another negative in some people. In males, there is also the threat of testicular atrophy, so shrinking testicles, and in females, an increase of body or facial hair. So with this, remember some of the negatives, so the mood swings, the heart disease, shrinking testicles, in females, increased body and facial hair. And also remember why people take them. Stimulants. So these are banned substances such as caffeine, which are found in coffee, cocaine. These can increase your alertness and competitiveness. They improve performance in games by reducing reaction time, speeding up reflexes, and reducing the feeling of fatigue. So if we put these as important ones, speeding up reflexes and reducing fatigue. However, they are addictive and cause high blood pressure, anxiety, and aggression. And because they mask fatigue and pain, injuries are made worse and higher levels of stress, sometimes fatal, are placed on the body's system. Stimulants are used in team contact sports such as ice hockey and American football, and sports which require quick reaction times such as baseball. So really, if you think of caffeine can be found in coffee and can be found in tea, and it makes you more alert. And if you think it makes you more alert, so your reaction time is better, it speeds you up. Okay, but negatives, that high blood pressure, that aggression, coming injured because you don't feel fatigue. Now, beta blockers. We had a question in this in one of our last exams. So our beta blockers, these are banned drugs, help the performer to keep calm by blocking the effects of the hormone adrenaline. So there you go. And it keeps you calm. This reduces your heart rate, blood pressure, and even anxiety, and helps prevent the hands from shaking. Performers in target sports such as archery and shooting would stand to benefit most from these, as well as a gymnast and golfers. Side effects include dizziness, nausea, feeling sick, and diarrhea, depression, and impotence. So if you remember the couple of the negative effects, you remember what beta blockers actually do. They keep you calm, and which sports such as archery and shooting would use them. The UK Anti-Doping Agency promotes 100% Me. This is about being a true athlete where your performance is due to hard work, determination and talent. 100% Me supports educates all athletes from beginners to elite performers. It is based on 5 values: hard work, determination, respect, passion, integrity. Now have a go at these exam questions and then we can answer them in class.